Donald Trump hit us with a heaping dose of fake outrage yesterday. He spoke to the New York Times about Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and he said this: "I think it's highly inappropriate that a United States Supreme Court judge gets involved in a political campaign, frankly. I think it's a disgrace to the court, and I think she should apologize to the court. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I would hope that she would get off the court as soon as possible." So he's calling for Ruth Bader Ginsburg to step down from the Supreme Court. Now, why is that? Well, very simply because he got his feelings hurt. I'm not kidding. So he's throwing a tantrum because Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, this guy's a faker, quote, a faker who should release his tax returns. I mean, that seems like a simple request. By the way, I don't even think that would necessarily hurt Trump, even if he paid 0% in taxes, because his followers would be like, oh, that's awesome, I want to pay 0%. So I think it's funny that people on the left think, oh, that'll get him. No, that's not going to get him. There's been a million other things worse than that haven't gotten him. I don't know why you think that'll get him. But she says he should release his tax returns, and she said, quote, everything would be up for grabs with him as president. I'm not even sure I know what that one means. What does that mean? Everything would be up for grabs with him as president. Like, he's so crazy and he's so out there that all, like, the rule of law disintegrates? I don't know. Is that what she's getting at? Maybe. That's just one interpretation of it. Maybe you guys have other interpretations of it. But that's it. That's all she said. He's a faker, should release his tax returns, and everything would be up for grabs with him as president. And as a result of that, Trump's like, oh, the court is not impartial. We don't have an impartial court. It's not neutral. So therefore, you know, she's a bias against me. She should step down. She should step down. Okay, this story highlights something about Trump that I honestly haven't seen anybody else talk about, except maybe Bill Maher has touched on it. But it's the idea that Trump is in no way the embodiment and the epitome of this PC police mentality. Like, oh, everybody's too sensitive. They're too politically correct. They get outraged over everything. What the fuck do you think this is? Trump, he's so anti-SJW. He's so against social justice warriors. Trump is a social justice warrior. He is the PC police. He's just the right-wing version of it. Okay, don't fucking kid yourself. Every single person who knows anything about politics in the United States of America already knew that Ruth Bader Ginsburg, a liberal Supreme Court justice, is not a fan of Donald Trump. That's not fucking hard to figure out. In the same way that you can imagine Clarence Thomas is not a fan of Hillary Clinton. And if he said something, I'd be like, duh. But no. Crank up the fake outrage machine. She dared utter a peep against the dear leader. Therefore, she should step down. She should step down. The court's not impartial. You want to talk about the court being impartial? What about what happened in fucking 2000 in Bush v. Gore, where the Supreme Court handed over the election to George W. Bush, despite the fact that there was still a question as to who actually won in terms of the vote count? All the conservatives said, states' rights to do their own recount. No. Shut it down. Election over, give it to George W. Bush. This massively biased court, back then, they're like, shh, it's fine that it's biased. Shut the fuck up. Ruth Bader Ginsburg dares to say a few little words against Trump. Oh, she must step down. She must step down. Oh, please. You guys are the PC police. You guys are right-wing social justice warriors. Donald Trump is a guy who sued Bill Maher over a fucking joke. And by the way, I mentioned before, Bill Maher's kind of onto this. He calls Donald Trump a whiny little bitch. That's right. That is what he is. People think he fights the whiny little bitches. No, he actually is, in his own right, a whiny little bitch. So there's no way around this. You know, he sued Bill Maher over a joke. Bill Maher said, his hair color, it's not found in nature. The only thing is this orangutan that looks kind of like it. And, if you can prove to me, because Trump's a birther, you need to show me a birth certificate to Obama. So Bill Maher said back to him, you need to show me on your birth certificate that you're not the love child of your mother and an orangutan. So Trump was outraged. He sued him. Served him legal papers and everything. The Onion wrote a satire article about Trump. He sued The Onion. This is a guy who said we're going to open up our libel laws to sue people who write things that we disagree with. If they come after us, just sue them. Open up the libel laws. Okay, this is a guy who's for free speech and free expression. That's the opposite of a guy who's for free speech and free expression. The whole idea is you should be in favor of it even if they say things you disagree with. Trump's like, if you disagree with me, I'm going to sue your punk ass. So, no, spare me. Oh, my God, yeah, he's going after the people who want a language police. Ruth Bader Ginsburg said a few words about him, and now he's saying, you should lose your job over it. Tell me again who's language policing? What a fucking joke this is.